Yeah. Late nights, same room. Caster's Corner. We're live. We're live. Yeah. We're live. Caster's Corner. Back when the shelf was a thought in my head. Before the price talk, before what was said. Before the grow up, before they all dip. Before the love turned to what you could flip. Same space, new lens, I adjusted the view. Seen the hype come and go, seen what it do, some moved on. Some lost what was real, I stayed right here. Had to see how it feel. Corner live, yeah, we back in the room. Say it in the chat, let me hear it from you. Why you collect, what it mean, what it do? We don't chase hype, we just stay on the truth. Caster's Corner, yeah, I see you show up. Same love, new lens, yeah, we building it up. Share the joy, never mind what it costs. If it's real, let it stay. If it's not, let it go. Yeah, now it's less about the shelf, more the reason behind. What you kept, what you left, what you chose over time. Connecticut to Philly, Long Island we know. Seen the culture shift fast, seen the noise get loud. Everybody got a tape when they chasing the crowd. But I'm right here steady, never moved off track. If it don't feel real, I don't bring that back. Built this slow, now I stand on its own. When you step in the room, yeah, you already home. Corner live, yeah, we back in the room. Say it in the chat, let me hear it from you. Why you collect, what it mean, what it do? We don't chase hype, we just stay on the truth. Caster's Corner, yeah, I see you show up. Same love, new lens, and we building it up. Share the joy, never mind what it costs. If it's real, let it stay. If it's not, let it go. It ain't what it's worth, it's what it mean to you. Not the price on the box, it's what you've been through. Different paths, same spark when it start. Yeah, we all came in with the same heart. Caster's Corner, corner, corner. Oh, Caster's Corner. Yeah, we're live, we're live, we're live, we're live. Hey, oh, yeah, yeah. Caster's Corner. We're live.
Hey everybody, welcome to another live show here on a Saturday night. Happy you guys are here. I am exhausted. Figure Fight Club, we went late into the night after the interview. We did the member stream. It was a lot of fun. I'm talked out about me, so let's talk about the industry today. We have a returning guest to talk, my Joe expert here, to talk about some of the things that we've heard, the changes that are coming, and what we got this week. So without further ado, Chris is back. I always do that. It's like 2 seconds. Yeah, I click it and I think I'm not on, and then I click it again and you go away. So welcome back, Chris.
Happy to be back. Wow. Some news dropped today too. So this is good timing for this.
It is. Like, we had a friend of mine was supposed to be on tonight and he dropped out because of personal things. And I'm really happy, like, you jumped in, and then a bunch of stuff happened this week and I'm like, oh, this worked out really well.
Yeah. So. No, this is great. I mean, I love the classified line, and guys like Lenny and Tony, they get a lot of kudos, for where the line is right now. I mean, the line is, it's funny, when the line first came out in 2020, I was like, well, it's a Joe line, so I'll definitely get something, right? And I feel like, building off of what O-Ring was, 25th, I was like, hey, the goal for me is try to redo every figure, right? Because it's got the better articulation, it's a little bit more detailed. And then what they're doing with, 6-inch Joes right now is just so much better than the 25th. And I love the 25th.
Let's take 2 steps back.
Sure.
So a couple weeks ago, I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks ago now, Lenny, who was lead on the Joe line, announced that he was leaving Hasbro to go to Boss Fight Studios. There were other ex-employees I've heard, and I'm just going to say it like peripherally because I can't remember exactly who, but I know other Hasbro employees have moved over, former employees over to Boss Fight. And then this morning I woke up to the news I slept in because I think I was up till almost 3 o'clock with the Figure Fight Club guys last night talking. The news came out this morning that Tony, the model master paint or the model shop that did all the great work, is also leaving for Boss Fight. So like there's like this convergence of like all these great Hasbro employees, and I don't think we've heard the last of the Hasbro employees leaving because, and from what I have heard, it's the move to Boston that kind of killed it. And having lived near where Hasbro is for college, and my family being outside of Boston, I mean, you could take a train in, it's 45 minutes, but like when you live 20 minutes on back roads from the place you work, or less than half an hour, and then you go to like an hour commute up 95 or 128, that traffic is I wouldn't want to do that every day.
No.
So
and the cost too.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, like it's not a big deal, but like we work in one state and you're living in another state, there's all the tax and there's just a whole nother level of headaches that kind of come with that.
Yeah.
So there's a fear, right? I think from my perspective, like a friend of mine, and I don't think this is talking out of turn, Eric on Adventures in Collecting, and I had a really long conversation today about it. And like everybody's coming at this from the other side of the argument is like, oh my God, the Joe line, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And I think there's a human side that I think a lot of people are missing. That like, yeah, but these guys love this stuff. Like Lenny loves Joe's. Like I can't imagine anybody in the industry, wink, wink, doing a better job at Joe's than Lenny. I'm glad they didn't do it earlier, wink, wink, because other people would have been in charge, and I don't think it would have been as good of a line. So Lenny,
and who said Lenny's done?
Well, okay. I'm not going to touch that one.
I have a theory that we can get into here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Boss Fight has worked with Hasbro in the sculpting range, but like the way Hasbro is consolidating its power, for lack of a better way of saying it, like they don't look like they're, as a corporation, trying to make better product. They're trying to make, so that all that to be said is like, yes, there's concern as a collector, like what's going to happen to our Joe line after 2027, because we know they plan at least a year out.
Yeah.
You know, as long as all those plans lay out, we get Lenny and Tony designs and passion. And B-Mac's great, don't get me wrong. Like he is also a big Joe fan.
He's a marketer though, right? So those are different disciplines. And if you read a lot of what, they've put out, especially Chris Cox, the CEO, has put out, that move to Boston is about finding young talent, but it's not artistic talent, right? It is MBA talent, right? It's business management talent. That's at least how I interpret, everything that's been put out, is that they're looking for bright young minds in the city to help them with the business. But if you look at what the company's been doing, it's so drastically different than how it was, say, 10 years ago, right? I remember when Daryl DePriest, he oversaw a lot of the boys, action figure lines. He would always say there's no way that we would ever license out what is our true meat and potatoes, and that is making action figures, right? And then look at what has changed with how much of this has gotten licensed out. I mean, Super 7, Transformers, right? How many do you think licensees there are for Transformers right now? You've got, I can't even count them off the top of my head. There's probably 7 or 8, right?
And on top of that, there are companies that, like, for example, like Diamond Select was doing Joe's, different types of Joe and Transformer stuff. And I remember being at Toy Fair that year that, like, it was behind the panel. It wasn't for press. And, knowing the people I knew, they were like, put your camera away and I'll take you back. And I got to go back and I saw the Joe mini mates and I saw the Transformer mini mates and the statues. And I was like, wait, Hasbro is letting, Mezco's doing Joe's. They were Diamond Select was doing Joe's, like Super Sevens doing Joe's, like it's just because there was something that came up last night on the after show, like after the after show, that I said was interesting. I know I said I wasn't going to talk as much tonight. I'm gonna let you talk. But I'll throw this out to you because this is a good one. And anybody that's watching, feel free to chime in on this. There was this idea that like there was competition. Like if you go back, let's say 15 years, there's competition. We have KB, we have Toys R Us, we have Kmart, we have Walmart, Target, GameStop, Barnes and Nobles. Like we have all this competition. And we had the ability to pick where we wanted to get our stuff, price wise too, because they varied in prices, availability and pricing. Walmart and Target did such a good job of getting product in the door a lot of times for us. It made it easier to find that they put the other companies out of business.
Yeah.
And when those things happened, there were articles that came out from Walmart and Target saying, we understand that there's a customer base that's looking for this product. We are committed to making sure that there's a place for these consumers to go.
I remember that.
And they have very clearly turned their back on us. Lowering quantities, not carrying the product, making it harder to find it, putting quantities on it, putting fake release dates on things, canceling online orders for their exclusive, like you name it, they have made it like walking over coals just to get the product. So I think that Hasbro, and I think I said this live on the show last night, they are fucking cowards for not standing up for us as consumers. All they care about are the big box consumers that are buying the product directly from them. And they have no concern. And let me just be clear. I'm not talking about Steve and Lenny and Tony and Dwight and Dan and B-Mac. I'm not talking about them.
You're talking about the suits at the top of the pyramid. Yeah.
They don't give a shit about us. So
I would argue they don't even, I would argue, Khalil, they don't even care about the big box retailers, right? They care about sold units, right? And they care about the margins that come from that. But I think they're seeing the market shift so much. And I feel like they're trying to get significantly smaller. So when the news first came out about Lenny leaving, I immediately said, okay, well, this has got to be due to the move, from Pawtucket and Providence into Boston. And that is not an easy commute. Like, no, especially because if you think back, the last 6 years, there's been more remote work, right? So even if they were in the office and the office was 20 minutes away, I think it'd probably be fair to say most of them were spending time still doing remote work, right? Yeah. So part of the decree that came out with moving to Boston was, hey, you needed to be there every day, right? So that is a big change too. But with the move that I saw with today with Tony, and then they have the sculptor who, and his name is escaping me, who joined Boss Fight before Tony. I think what we're seeing start to happen is Boss Fight is making a move at sort of setting up a new Four Horsemen in their own way, right? And I think what they may be aware of that we're not aware of is conversations within Hasbro about what else can we outsource. And they might have been looking at the writing on the wall saying, hey, these jobs that we're in right now are probably next to be outsourced. And if you look at the way it's sort of structured, like if you look in between the lines with what BMAC puts out, he's sort of the brand guy as well as the marketing guy. Like he talks about sort of reviewing the IDW comic books and, the things that go out. Well, I could see a scenario where he's basically just looking to make sure that, hey, these designs fundamentally match the spirit of what the designs are for those characters, and the rest of the work gets completely outsourced. because I do think that Hasbro is looking at the writing on the wall and saying, hey, we want to own IP, right? We want to outsource everything we can. A lot of people don't realize Hasbro doesn't own the factories, overseas, right? They contract that work out. They want to hold inventory as short a period of time as possible. A lot of people don't know Target actually takes their inventory overseas, right? So the amount of time that Hasbro actually owns that inventory to Walmart and Target is literally a matter of days, right? We're not talking months or anything like that. And I think what they're going to do is they're going to continue to try to dwindle the staff down to where you essentially have somebody like a BMAC who is just a brand point of contact, right? And he'll probably end up doing it on multiple brands. Not saying this is the case at all, because I could be very wrong. There could be a designer, there could be a paint guy, everything. But also, if you look at the way the business was structured, they had a model studio, they had a paint studio, they had all that stuff.
Tony
I don't
was
know.
lead on the paint studio, the model studio.
He did a lot with HasLabs too. I don't know if Boston's layout is necessarily going to have that. And some of these guys might be looking at it and saying, hey, we don't have a paint studio. We have a cubicle. How am I going to paint up these models? And then they must be thinking, oh, well, maybe some of that's going to get outsourced, right? So they might have seen this as an opportunity to be that third party. It might benefit them. They may end up getting paid more, in essentially doing the same amount of work. And Hasbro then has less liability to the same amount of employees. That's kind of what I started thinking today. I was in the car today. I took a ride to visit some family in New York, and I had seen that. And as I was in the car, I was kind of pondering that on the way back. I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they're really starting to change the structure of their company to be just sort of focused on owning IPs. I mean, look at what's happening with there's a bunch of them. Didn't Super 7 announce, more reaction pluses with other Hasbro brands and stuff, right? And then you've got loyal subjects with Mask, right? You really need somebody who's just looking at it and saying, hey, this matches what is sort of in the design book. Almost think of it as Marvel, right? The Marvel team has to get everything sort of approved by, Marvel proper, right? You hear Dwight and the team always say, hey, this character is pending licensor approval, right? So Hasbro, I think that's really what they wanted to get to, is they just wanted to be the licensor, right? Because it's significantly less people. They still own the brands. I don't see them selling off the brands. Like I know there's talk that people have, what if Boss Fight buys the brand? I don't ever see that happening. I definitely see other companies licensing it out. I mean, heck, you could see, I don't think it's crazy to think in 2 years from now, you're buying G.I. Joe Classified that's licensed through another company. I think that is completely realistic, especially as we're moving away from the brick and mortar, right? So I was in the car quite a bit this week, and there was a couple times I was going by Targets and Walmarts, and I don't hunt anywhere like what I used to. I used to enjoy having an hour commute just because of the hunt, right?
Yeah.
And I went into multiple Targets and Walmarts this week, and you know what I found? I found that Legacy Trooper with like the Call of Duty mask.
Yeah.
I found like a handful of retro card Flints, Cobra Commanders, and Televipers, and that was it. I mean, it's not the same landscape that it used to be.
No, I see sci-fi sometimes. I'll see like a wetsuit here and there. The other thing is I want to throw out there is like I think, and I wish Bill was in the chat or somewhere because he would know this for sure. But I remember when we first started doing the website, Boss Fight was doing sculpting for Hasbro, I think, on some of the Joe lines. Hasbro was working with Boss Fight. So like there's already been a partnership because they've been so close. I'm also, again, I said this last night. I think I've said it with you before. I am also okay with these lines going away for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, take a break. Like, make these kids lines again. Like, because here's the thing. The retailers are not selling or carrying the thing for us anymore. Like,
Yeah.
Target doesn't carry it properly for us anymore.
Yep.
Walmart doesn't carry the lines properly for us anymore. They're carrying them for, as I get messages from other people that aren't watching. Why is he sending me this stuff now? Thanks, DJ. I thought you were sending me something about the show. He's going to put lights in his basement. Ooh, how nice. Anyway, he'll see that on the replay. What was he saying? They're not there. And again, when you said that they're worried about numbers, I think what we're both saying is the same thing. They don't care about us. They care about Walmart and Target because they take the biggest numbers from them. But they don't necessarily care about, like, I'm just saying, like, as a consumer, they're worried about marketing and selling to these companies because think about it. If they cared about the product and not the number sold, Target would not have a full case of Cassandra Novas on their shelf.
Yeah.
Like, just solid cases like that. They wouldn't do that.
I don't think they're that smart, to be honest with you. I don't think they're smart enough. And, you know,
I think, but Chris, but I think Hasbro's smart enough. I don't think Target buyers are smart enough to understand us. Because
but
if they weren't smart enough, they wouldn't make G.I. Joe Classified. They wouldn't make Marvel Legends. They do the $10 toys and sell more of them. They wouldn't be making. I can't pick up one. I believe it or not, I have no Legends accessible on my desk or a Hasbro product on my desk. They wouldn't be making these things the way they're making them if they weren't for us.
So here's a thought, right? Because over there in one of those cases, I have an opened G.I. Joe Classified Vamp, and I have a still sealed one because I can't believe that thing's now going for well over $400, right? Now, the Stinger, right? These are essentially the same exact vehicle. They're painted different figure, right? When all of a sudden they started getting orders, no, I don't think anybody looked and said it. And these are fictitious numbers and said, hey, we made 8,000 vamps. Oh, we got more orders. We got more orders. What are we tooled up for? Oh, we're making these Stingers. All right, we're going to run off 30,000 Stingers, right? And I think if they really had true control and they really knew, like, they just look at it as moving units. I don't think they look at it with the level of detail that we're at.
But I think you're missing a piece here. Okay. I think the piece you're missing is the Vamp never went to Walmart. The Stinger was part of the holiday set for Walmart. So I think that the Stinger got overproduced because Walmart ordered it and it was not available in every store, but I think it was purchased like it was available for every store.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is, like, even if they look at it as a whole, you know, they would say, hey, there's 1 to 5 of these, right? You know, for every, 5 Stingers we're going to sell, we're going to make 1 Vamp. And I think if they were really looking at it, they would have tried to have more of a 1-to-1 ratio.
Right. I think if Walmart hadn't come in and said, hey, we need something at this price point for our display, what do you have? And they said, oh, we can do Stingers. Vamps were already done. We're making Stingers right now. This is what we could populate it with. So I think that there's a dimension there that wasn't, because the Vamp was a Pulse exclusive for a period of time.
Did the Ostriker go to Walmart? I don't think so, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So this what I think the Stinger got overproduced because Walmart ordered. But I mean, if you think about it, in our state, what is it in the entire state of Connecticut? I don't know how many Walmart there are. 5 to 6 Walmarts in the entire state of our state.
That's sold them.
Around us, there's like 7 Walmarts, and only 1 Walmart in our direct area carries it. And if you think about that, that's insane.
It is, and that is something I'm used to as a Joe collector. That it's tough to get product, and that it wasn't always at the smaller WalMarts. the Transformers, I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand how you can't get mainline Transformers at every Walmart. That to me is just, that's crazy.
Well, and they're coming back because the ones that had them that didn't have them are now bringing them back.
Are they?
So like for us, for anybody in Connecticut, like Bristol and Cromwell didn't carry Studio Series or Legacy, and they just brought them back on their newest remods.
Oh, that's good to know.
So,
what about Legends? Are Legends at all of them again? Because I know.
Yeah, but there's no Legends for us. Like there's nothing out.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing to buy because Walmart and Target stopped carrying the comic waves unless they were retro cards. So there's nothing for us to buy.
Yeah.
So like it's just I'm okay with it being over. I have enough.
So what's over though, right? Because I will tell you, I don't really think. So at some point, if you think back to like the late 90s when they were reissuing, I don't want to say reissue, when they were redoing like 1960s 12-inch GI Joe, right? You know, they were selling the West Point Cadet, you know, and George Washington and you know General Patton and all of those, right? Which are all throughout this, you know, country in storage units worth nothing, right? At some point, the tide's going to turn with us and fold over, right? But I think stuff like this, right? This is Big Bad.
Yep.
This is Crimson Moon Trooper, right? This is essentially a Palitoy Red Shadow for anyone who remembers the UK early 80s before they started using the O-ring figures, right? Stuff
the
like
real
that.
Action Force. The original. I'll say, sorry, original. Yeah.
The original Action Force, the Palitoy, right?
Yeah.
This is stuff out there that even if Hasbro stopped entirely, that's stuff that interests me, right? So, and
I think that's for me too. Like I just got my first or third, actually. Well, I mean, in the last month, I started getting into the Savage Crucible figures, which have been kind of fun to play with. I picked up a few. Questionably, I picked up a few Mythic Legions. Haven't really talked about yet.
Oh, did you get him from the Shop the Curiosity?
Yeah. I spent so much money. So I mean, I started picking up these things because I'm kind of bored with the other stuff. Like I feel like I'm just checking boxes. What about everybody else? Like I know we got a lot of people watching. So what does everybody else think? Is anybody else sick of checking boxes these days and chasing pre-orders? I canceled my Raptor or Dino Trainer and my Swamp Skimmer.
I feel like you're going to be able to get both of them on closeout pricing at some point.
You know, or like Red 5 will get them and I'll get them hopefully on sale there. Like I can't rationalize paying full price for those. And how many times are we going to see the Swamp Skimmer? Really? Like we are going to see it at least 3 more times.
I don't know about the. I could. On one hand, I kind of want a bunch of them, right? If they're not going to give me motorcycles for the Dreadnoks, give me a bunch of Swamp Skimmers for the Dreadnoks. I do like the idea though of what you're saying about like completing teams and stuff like that. Like I got in the last 2 or the most recent 2 Jada Toys Street Fighter 2, and you know, looking at the back, I think what do we got? Zangief. I think that.
Zangief and T-Hawk are the last 2.
Yeah, and T-Hawk are the last 2. And I know I just pre-ordered, I think it was T-Hawk earlier in the week. So
and I didn't even bother. You know why? Because I end up canceling the orders anyway and ordering them with the first place that gets them. But like I like it. Like I see right over your shoulder, I see your Street Fighters. Like I like the idea of just finishing, like capsuling, like being done. And I think I said this last night with like, for example, in the 80s, Superpowers. They never did all the Teen Titans. We got Cyborg, we got Robin. I know this is a repeat for some people that heard it last night. I don't feel like my Superpowers collection is incomplete because I don't have a Starfire, a Raven, and a Beast Boy, or
Mhm.
a Wonder Girl, a Speedy, and a Aqualad. Like, I don't feel like I'm incomplete. I
Mm.
have the figures. I have what
Yep.
they made. It's a complete collection. Whether or not
Yeah.
it character-wise it's complete, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, exactly. I love that my Street Fighter line is going to be done soon too. Like by the end of the year, we're going to be done with Street Fighter. And
Yeah.
that's a nice feeling.
I'm not going into alpha
No.
or even the Storm. I guess the Storm Arena ones are supposed
Yeah.
to be very, very good. I'm good. I've got what I consider definitive versions, and there is a point where too much posability is if they're supposed to be very, very posable, those Storm Arena
Yeah.
ones, but these pose just well enough for what they're doing on the shelf. So, you know, not going to go into any of those. You know, I'm very excited to see, you know, what Big Bad Workshop does with cops. You know, supposedly we have
Yeah.
more
Well, there's
cops
two on the
coming.
back of the box.
Yeah, yeah. So that would be cool. You know, honestly, I think outside of Hasbro, Big Bad Workshop has me the most excited right now. You know, like what they're doing with some of the Monster Force stuff. I haven't bought any of the Monster Force stuff,
No,
but
neither do I.
it's different, right? Like how many times do we see the same thing sort of rehashed over and over and over again, right? And I will tell you something that's really simple. A lot of people get wrong is you know who's a good guy and you know who's a bad guy, right? There's other brands out there that you know have used similar name IP stuff to you know what this used to be. Who's a good guy? Who's a bad guy? Right? Like the bad guy should look evil and you know kind of creepy and you know
That's I told you I was going to be late because I was watching they don't call them pay-per-views anymore, but I was watching Backlash, WWE Backlash, and like there were no bad guys in the matches. Everybody was cheering for everybody. Like it didn't make sense anymore.
yeah
But like I just think like I look forward to like for me, Joes are almost done. Like there's for me. No. Listen from the outside, right?
yeah. It always gets to this point and it kills me because 88 to 91 is my favorite.
And see, it's not for me. Like I like I need like I don't even I think whatever's coming out this year will wrap. Like I get Iceberg for the most part, and I'm a happy camper, right?
Yeah.
I got most of what I wanted already, and I'm okay not getting other things. Transformers, same way. Like I'm excited to get the new Starscream whenever they announce it because they've done 2 of the Seekers. They're going to do him eventually.
Yeah.
After that, it's really only characters. Like we didn't have a Swerve before. We got a good Swerve now. So like those are the characters I'm going to pick up.
Yeah.
And like what two a year maybe. And so like I like the idea of getting to the point in collecting where I'm not chasing pre-orders. I'm not begging a store employee to check a DPCI for me. I'm not trying to do an order pickup at 6 stores, hoping one of them will fill the order. I just don't want to be on the hook anymore. I just don't. Here, we got a good comment too. I want to put in there. A lot of people from our friends, Fig Fan Samurai. A lot of people were down on the Big Bad Workshop line when it first announced. So crazy. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It is, and like I have Bulletproof, and I've opened him and played with him. He is great to pose out. All the parts kind of work really well. There's a lot of good accessories. They're doing a good job. They take a while and they're a little more costly, but I'm not buying a wave of like 6 or 8, Cops figures. I'm buying 1 or 2, every 6 months, and $80 every 6 months. That's fine. But like this week, I spent close to $300 on McFarlane figures. Like that's insane.
Yeah,
Like,
but you're getting to the end, right? And I think that might make it easier for you to do that too, knowing that there is light in the tunnel, and the opposite it happens too with some lines. Like above me is Super 7 TMNT, right?
Yeah.
Now I've got pretty decent holes of what I wanted to recreate my kid collection, and Big Bad Toy Store has a bunch of them on sale right now, and I for some reason cannot pull the trigger because I know that it's not going anywhere,
Yeah.
and it's like I need Genghis Frog, I need the Triceraton, but it's like it's not going anywhere. And I really should just finish those out, but I struggle with that, But then I walk into Target and I see divers on clearance for $16, and I literally filled the cart. And my wife's like, "What's wrong with you?" But I army build, and
You got the flag. Aren't you done? I'm sorry. I love to tease you about that one. I'm like,
she
no,
really thought that was true.
yeah, I know. I was there. And we're talking about what we're getting next. And I remember her coming downstairs going, "What do you mean what you're getting next?"
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Big Bad figures have been really nice. But here's the thing. I'm not a huge fan of the Mythic Legions that I got, right? I am not sorry I bought them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that, so they asked me last night on the stream on Figure Fight Club. They said, what do you regret buying? And I really don't have a regret of buying toys. Like there are toys that I might not like. Like, listen, I don't like this. I don't regret buying it necessarily because I know what it is. I have the ability to talk about it being in the realm I'm in, right?
Yeah.
And I can give an honest opinion about it. So I feel like it's like reading a book almost. Like I know it's not reading a book, but I feel like, in order to understand something, you need to experience it. And this is me experiencing going, oh yeah, no, this leg is really loose. This peg just kind of spins a lot. It's got good neck movement and stuff like that. But like, there's not enough here. And he's too glossy. So like I can talk about this.
What was the Chronicles figure? How much was that?
$27.99. Yeah.
See, that's I saw the sword. And I was like, that's cool. $42.99. I said, yeah.
I took it to my mom to show it to her. She loved it.
I'll get one from Ollie's next year, and I'll just have to change the batteries on.
But listen, right? Like, come on. Like, come on. This is fun.
Yeah.
Like, this is the fun stuff. Like, I was more excited to get this than the Man-at-Arms. Hold on.
I think I was more excited seeing the sword than all the other movie figures they had on display.
Yeah. Our buddy here, McFarlane's putting out so much DC this year. It's really good to know it's ending because I might have pulled out because of the price point and quality of the figures. The thing is, I don't think we're ever going to see this level of character assortments. Gangbusters, Black Condor, 80s characters, one-off Z-level characters. I think our friend Jason, JNL, on Instagram, he's going to be launching a Kickstarter this summer. He pushed to get stuff that people in our age bracket grew up with in the 80s and the 90s, and to get those like Z-level characters out, and all these different. And the reason we have a Jack Nicholson-esque Joker is because of Jason. He pushed for these things. So this is all going back to like Lenny leaving and Tony leaving and McFarlane letting go of the DC design staff. Like, these people are passionate and have our interests at hand. Whether or not corporate does, that's just another question. It is fun. Sorry, I saw another comment. It's so much fun.
Do you hear anyone? It was about a year ago. We were all curious who was going to get the DC license, right? And
everybody went for it.
Yeah, that is pretty well known, that they all made pitches for it. But we know it's going to Mattel. But I hear more sadness about it leaving McFarlane than I do people excited that it's going to Mattel right now. I mean,
Well, I'm not buying Mattel figures, like especially after getting this
yeah,
and knowing what they do with wrestling.
yeah,
Like, no, like because they're doing the kids line. There's
yeah,
rumors going around this is going to be the Elite, which is the next step up from Basic, and
yeah,
then the Ultimate. And I'm not buying 3 versions of a character just to get one good one.
yeah,
I'm just not going to do it because like the Ultimates will have different heads and hands and capes and soft goods and all this stuff. The Basics won't have any of that, but it'll probably have a better head sculpt or a better body sculpt or whatever it is. So I'm like, yeah, I don't plan on collecting it. We got another comment. I don't plan on collecting it either. Like this is my exit from DC. This is it. This is it for me. I think I counted. I have 12 DC lines in this house right now. 12 individual DC lines that are mostly complete.
What do you think are the best expectations for? I think the best expectations is you're going to get a pinless DC Universe figure. That's kind of what I expect. I mean, that's what I'm saying though. It's getting rehashed. I was hoping that it would go to Hasbro because I thought that would be cool. You know?
But I think it would have been. I think Mattel. You can change the name Mattel or Hasbro. We would have gotten the same thing. I don't think one company or the other would have done any better. Like they both can do 6-inch figures. It's fine. I honestly would rather see somebody do a really good 3 3/4 DC line because we've never had one. Like Marvel Universe was really good. Superpowers I don't consider because it was close to 5-inch. We've never had like a Joe size Star Wars 3 3/4 DC line. If someone were to make that and make it well, not the giant hands that Mattel did the first time, not the everybody complains about McFarlane doing Batman. Jesus Christ, Spin Master did so many Batman. Like within the first wave, I think I had a picture on the website that had like 13 Batman on it.
Yeah.
And that was just like
we got them in a tote somewhere in our attic.
Yeah, like it's
the kids got them.
Like I get it, Batman sells, but like if we got a true 3 3/4 DC line that had like a good Batmobile and had really good vehicles, that would be amazing.
What's your HasLab DC item? All right, go down this. Hasbro won it, not Mattel.
We'll finish
all right.
If I were to say so that's hard. Like that's really hard because I can't think of a vehicle that I don't have that I'd want to see in a DC line, to be honest with you.
It would be silly, right? McFarlane sells a $60 Batmobile. Hasbro couldn't do a Batmobile, right? No. So it has to be bigger. It has to be more grand.
Derek, Mattel made a 1/8, but they had the giant hands and they weren't well articulated. Anyway, Dream HasLab for DC. It wouldn't be a vehicle. I honestly I want Fortress of Solitude, Batcave, Justice League, Tower, something, Control Room. What's his name? Nacelle Toys is doing the giant bridge set. That's amazing. Like I want something like that. I don't need another Batmobile. I don't need a Supermobile.
Yeah.
Like I don't need a vehicle for these people. And there's no real giants in the DCU that I'd want. Like what? Giganta or Apache Chief or the Atom? I don't know. I don't really need it. Yeah, Hall of Justice. Fortress of Solitude, Batcave would be ideal. But here's the thing. Between me and you, what you have at your house and what I have at my house, I could build any of those if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
We're at the point where a playset is a much bigger, a harder sell for me.
Yeah. I mean, imagine a Batcave the size of your, cat's lair. Where does it go? Where does that go?
It'll go right next to the cat's lair. I'll just build another table, put another table there.
Plus, you have an attorney you got to set up still, right?
Is this just because I enable you, so you got to try to enable? Yeah, I do. The difference is, though, I don't have an original Eternia to set up, and I don't ever think I will, which I'm fine with. So,
Yeah.
I had one as a kid, so I'm okay. I can just play with the new one. All right, so thank you for joining us, for filling in this week. I think we cover a lot of ground here. Thank you all for watching. We really appreciate it. Next week's show, Figure Fight Club's founder, leader, Abby will be on. Join us next week at 9 o'clock for that show. Follow us on Caster's Corner. We'll do more with Chris as months come on. It's great talking to him. We wish luck to all of our friends at Hasbro. If anybody's, sends it along to them. I can't wait to see what they're doing at Boss Fight. It'll be a lot of fun.
We should do a road trip up there.
Yeah. Well, I was going to do a road trip to Hasbro, but there's nobody left to talk to.
We're close enough. We should try to do that.
Yeah. Listen, you got to take the road trip to Red 5 first. You got to come with me to Red 5, and then we'll figure out a road trip because that's only 45 minutes. That's 2 hours. So we got to find time. Hey, what's up, Abby? We'll see you next week. You're in the hot seat next week. Thank you to everybody that watched. Thank you to everybody that's watching on the replay. Leave your comments. Tell us what you think is the end of a line for you, or what you'd like to see as a large scale GC product from Mattel. Let's see what we can get going. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Saturday night we in here. Caster's Corner. Yeah. Saturday night we in here. Caster's Corner. Pull up, step in, yeah, the room feel right. Every week, same crew, yeah, we back on time. New faces, old names, I see everybody. From the chat to the screen, yeah, the vibe stay solid. Hit the comments, let it fly, let it show what you like. Who we talking to next, who we bringing on mic. Every voice matter here, yeah, we building it right. We just here for the love every Saturday night. We in the room, yeah, we live tonight. Say it in the chat, let me know you alright. Show what you love, let it shine, let it move. We collect cause we love it, that's the truth. Corner Live, yeah, the whole crew here. Every comment, every voice, yeah, we all in here. Price don't matter, it's the time that we spend. It's the talk, it's the bond, we connect in the end. Shout out, weekly viewers, yeah, you know who you are. Been here from the start, helped us take it this far. To the guests on the show, yeah, we thank y'all too. Every combo, every moment, yeah, we building with you. From the likes to the shares, yeah, we see all that. Every comment, every post, yeah, we read all that. Tell a friend, bring them through, let the room expand. We just building something real, yeah, you're part of the plan.